Hey everybody, welcome back to Brick Auto here. Just got an interesting case study here. What we're looking at is a 2004 Chrysler 300M. Apparently it overheats, has an overheating condition. Just pulled it up here. Looks like just over 200,000 miles. It overheats when driving, but it can idle forever without overheating. Per the owner, they've replaced the water pump, new thermostat, radiator cap, and hoses and fans. So still having the same complaint. Been to a few places and brought it here, so we're going to take a look at it. I have a feeling I know what we're going to find, given this it's a Chrysler, the 3.5 high output, 200,000 miles, and considering they've replaced all those things, I have a feeling that we're going to find some type of head gasket or block problem or head problem. So I have a feeling that's what's kind of going on here. But we're going to do some tests, take a look, try to verify that 100%, and just let them know kind of what we found. Plan on doing a compression test. Going to air bleed the system, watch the fans come on. I'm going to check the fuses, the relays, and we'll do a combustion leak test, see if we can find any hydrocarbons in the coolant, see if anything's getting by there. I have a feeling if they replaced all that stuff and there's no coolant leak or issue, that perhaps a little bit of coolant is actually just getting through some of the jackets and burning off before it would actually leak. So that might be part of the problem, and I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so here's the car, just kind of doing a visual inspection, see what we find. See if there's any coolant in here or what. There is some fluid in there. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, we'll check the relays. There's some relays down here too on the fans. This is not good. It's not right, so that would make sense. Whoever replaced these cooling fans, maybe didn't put that down all the way. Looks like a little bit of oil perhaps coming out of the top of the intake there. Yeah, let's take a look and see if we can't figure out what our issue is. We got 200,405 on the clock. That's 04. I mean, it's pretty impressive. And look in the back seat, I found here's a set of cooling fans. So not sure what the seems legit that they replaced them. A couple relays on there, so it's, I don't know, I guess just confirms what the owners told me so far. But gonna hook this up here, watch some data, and see if we can't notice anything goofy, anything running problems. Okay, so we've connected it up. No status is confirmed off. There's no code stored, no present codes, no nothing. So that's good news. We're just checking. I'm just going to go through the list here and select what I want to look at. Then we'll start it up, watch, see what happens, and probably start some compression test or something after that. There. Alright, let's start the car. Okay, car's been running 20 seconds. Went into closed loop right away. You can see, so both short term on both banks, you can see, is really reducing here. Taken away, trying to -9, -7, -10, -13. We're just running at idle. Two sensors seem to be bouncing back and forth appropriately between 0 and 1. That says mil status is on. It says mil status on. Mill status off. Really not sure why that is. Should be a code then, I would think, or why is there two of them? One says on, one says off. Let's go just look in the car, see if the light's on or not. Yeah, we're idling at about 760-ish, which is fine. It is in closed loop, so that means it's something. It sounds relatively smooth, but again, obviously there wasn't any concerns drivability wise other than the overheat conditions, so that makes sense. But with the mileage, it doesn't seem good. Electronic throttle, get better running smooth. I guess the engine light's on or what? Yeah, check engine light is on, so I'm not sure why it didn't find codes and why it said mill status on and mill status off. If you can see that, that's the washer fluid light, and check engine light are on. No other lights, just the seat belt. But yeah, idling. I'd like to find out what that code is and just kind of see if it would help here or not. Alright, so found the code. It's a P0172, system too rich, which makes sense because we just saw both banks were taking off, so interesting. So here's our misfire counters. Absolutely zero misfires counted on all 6 cylinders, so that's good. But obviously we have a rich condition. I think it's separate from probably separate from our overheat condition. But we're just going through some basic data here and see what we find. See if we can manually energize the cooling fans. I want to see those turn on, is what I want to do. Alright, this is kind of cool. So obviously still running. Neither one of those fans are on yet. Where's our temperature? Still at 149 degrees, so that makes sense. But we can try to manually energize it. And it should be on. Neither one of those is kicking on. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. We have the coolant at 213 degrees here. The fan should be running. It's not running. I have my meter hooked up here. Yes, I did check to make sure the ground is good. So we're good to go there. Ground, power, meter, good to go. And I've taken out well, it says there's a radiator fan high relay, and then there's a radiator fan high-low relay, so that would be this one here, and also this one. You can see I've got my test jumper, relay tester in this one. And this one, you can see it looks like it's been replaced in the past. Watch this so we have right here at our first pin, we have system voltage. We also have system voltage at the second one. And our third one we have 16.8 volts, which is kind of strange. And system voltage on the third one. Watch what happens when we check when I touch this one. Fan turns on. This goes to 6. It'll turn on for a second, and then then we'll shut off. There's also those two relays down there. And the coolant temp is 221. Let's see if we hold this. What I'm doing is I suspect still we have a mechanical problem, but I'm just going through these checks. I want to make sure electrically everything is okay too. And I think it's kind of strange. We have two fan relays here, and then there's also two on the fan assembly itself. And this one looks like it's been changed in the past and is causing some issues. So looks like we might have multiple things going on here with the cooling problem. So I'm trying to rule them out one at a time, and we'll get into the mechanical testing. Okay, this still might be kind of difficult to see, but these relays here, these have all tested good. These three, I've moved them around. This is a auto shutdown relay. This is the high-low relay, it's called, and this is the high relay. But they're all functioning. I've tested them. These relays themselves are not the issue. I don't know if there's a control problem, but it seems like the high is only working. You can't get the low to go. So I've unplugged the connector that goes to the fans. The other side, the connector is there. You can barely see it underneath the pulley, the alternator. But I've disconnected that, and I've got a ground source hooked up to the pin there. Happens to be the black wire, but only getting a response on this other pin here. So this is grounded. It's showing ground active through there, and if we apply power, we can get that to fans to go. That fan. So not getting any readings on these other two, and I'm also, both of these relays seem to be clicking. I don't know if we can get a decent shot down there or not, so I apologize in advance. Sorry about that. And that's just kind of where we're at this point with the camera. So I can only do it here, but you can see when I engage that, both of them seem to be clicking. Both of these. This one and this one. So sorry about the shot. Both of those seem to be clicking, but I don't have any control on either one of these other two wires. And that connector, only the far two, so. Okay, so I'm now commanding the low speed fan relay to come on, so it'll come through there. You can see it's working there, and disconnected it actually down where it plugs right into the fan, so you get on the other side of the relay, and you can see the connector is right there. And that side on the right there is grounded. You can see it ground if you hooked a voltmeter up to it. and we've got it hooked up to the right side pin there in this shot, and you can see as it's commanding, it's actually applying the system voltage. So it is going through the command and through both of these sets of relays. So that fan should be turning on when that is plugged in. Obviously it won't right now because it's not plugged in, but that fan is not coming on at all. So if I plug this back in, that should start cycling on and off with that relay. I don't know if you can hear that clicking. But let me plug that back in. So you can see that's now plugged back in, and power is getting through the signal all the way through to that fan motor, getting through there, through the relays, through the wires, through there, and is being, you can hear it being commanded on and off manually by the scan tool here. But that fan should be starting up. Watch, we'll go to the high speed and we will watch that do that same command, and you'll see this fan on the other side kick on. So let's try high. You want to come back in here and take another look at this. So here's the piece that was replaced by somebody else before it came here. It's obviously probably the original, but you can tell definitely by looking at the other one, it's a used piece. Just by the condition of it. Oh, here's the cap that they replaced. I don't know if that is, that looks like a new cap. It's just about empty. I didn't put this in their car. This is the customer stuff. I won't leave it like that, but interesting that it was, these fans have already been replaced, yet we have a confirmed bad low speed cooling fan. Get a shot of that. That's obviously been replaced with a recycled piece. That's not new by any stretch of the imagination. It looks like the exact same condition as the other one. Yeah, this fan's on. This fan is not coming on at all. So, and it's not a relay issue. It's not a power issue. It's not a connection issue. It's not a control issue, because we verified all that. We've gone through all that. But at least there's one issue we've confirmed. That's not going to help, but still want to check out the compression and hydrocarbon test and that type of thing, see what we come up with. Okay, just going to do a quick and dirty combustion leak test. Sorry, get that out of the way. Just take this cap off, which also looks new. It seems like they went through a couple. So we do have enough room here. We need about 1 to 2 inches of space so we don't suck any actual coolant up in here. Just going to place this here. You can see 2 levels of the blue test fluid in each chamber. We just take this and pump air into this. Squeeze this about 3 to 5 times, get air through it. If the fluid turns yellow at all, there is a combustion leak into the cooling system. Combustion gas is present. So there's one. There's 2. And here's 3. 4. Still looking pretty blue. There's 5. And it would be turning colors by now. It was. You can see still quite blue. So no combustion gases present in the cooling system, which is good, but not quite what I was expecting. I was expecting some level of leak here. But yeah, quick and dirty test. Let's move on. Okay, so both of the fans actually were just running for a second. I did open air bleed, which is why there was coolant all over everything. I washed most of the coolant off here, but they just turned off. But both of those fans were just running on high though, so I'm still a little concerned about that. But it's kind of confusing to me at this point as to why both of them were coming on, but under no circumstances could I command that on manually, direct power, anything under that fan. But it just did come on for a second. The complaint was it didn't overheat at idle, only at driving. So I'm going to take it for a test drive and see where we're at here. Alright, I apologize for the shaky thing here. I'm not looking at the camera. I'm going to go on a drive and just focus on that. I'm going to edit most of this out, but I haven't really driven it yet to confirm the exact complaint of overheating while driving, but it's up to temperature. The system is air bled. Probably will just edit most of this out, but just want to keep it on here to see how long it takes to actually get this thing hot. Okay, so yeah, it hasn't even been a mile and we are climbing into the danger zone here pretty quick. So I'm going to try to make this test drive real quick, go back, pop the hood and see what the heck is going on. Hopefully I can make it around the block here. All this traffic, unbelievable. I don't even know if I'm going to make it. It's kind of fluctuating a little bit. Turn signals work, so that's good. I want to try to see if I can even take this thing past up 45, 50 miles an hour, see if that helps, because the heater controls are on high. It has automatic temperature control, this vehicle, but the display's not working, but the blower motor works fine, and I know that the functions were working because yeah, I put it on warm, obviously, to bleed the system. So it's on warm, the fan is on very low as I can go, just to make sure it's functioning. So we keep it on warm and the temperature on hot zone, and we should be, whoa, we are red as can be, 35 miles an hour roughly. Danger. All right, we're gonna have to cut this short immediately. Yep, danger, I understand. All right, we're gonna get this back. See, those fans were not running at all, and it's still cherry hot, and it was idle. It's weird it doesn't do it at idle. It's like a weird computer control problem, maybe tied into this crazy thing. We're gonna have to look at some circuit design here. to turn this thing off. I'm going to destroy it if it's not already completely destroyed. Okay, so we're having some difficulties confirming here 100% with this issue with this cooling fan not coming on, and then them both coming on not while driving, only in park, and still way overheating. And electrical checks out good. Appears to be flow. There's a bleeder right here that I looked at. The system seems to be flowing all right, so it doesn't appear to be a thermostat issue, a flow issue, or an electrical issue. And it's strange that there's really no main drivability complaints, misfires, that kind of thing. And there doesn't appear to be any hydrocarbons or oil in the coolant at all. So it's a little puzzling at this point. We're going to move on to a compression test, possibly warped heads, bad head gaskets, or both. Obviously it's been overheating for a while, so definitely a concern, and possibly just not bad enough to actually show any immediate issues with hydrocarbons or stuff getting into the coolant system yet. But we're going to move on to a mechanical relative compression test and see where we're at from there. So disconnected the coil. Take a look at the plugs too, see where they're at. So this is one of my favorite little tricks as far as deep well spark plugs when you're going down in there and having issues with this possibly disconnecting or breaking off once it's in there. That's what I do. I just take a little electrical tape and we make this one for the day. It's not going to come off, it's not going to hurt anything, not going to separate, and we're good to go. Alright, so I've never been a real expert on reading spark plugs or determining, but that one looks a little bit excessively burning here. Anyhow, let's do the compression test. So I tried one crank on this cylinder, just to be at about 80, 60, 70, 80, 90, 80, somewhere between 80 and 90 psi on that one. Interesting. Maybe we should have started with this. About 85 again. Just gonna write that down, keep track of each one of these. I'm gonna do each one 3 times, just make sure we're getting consistent results. Same thing again. So that's the third one. Even you can see, this is the second one. It looks like it's maybe over gapped a little bit, but in all reality, calls for 0.05, and that's honestly just about where we're at. Maybe it's right about on, so it's not like that's a big concern. And again, no misfires, so continue on with the compression test. Alright, just to show you the final numbers here. So here's obviously the front of the vehicle right here. Here's the passenger compartment. The air comes in this side on this particular vehicle. But here's each cylinder, and here's the compression ratings. I know the fire number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not even exactly sure what cylinder numbers are in each one, but honestly with these numbers it doesn't really matter. 100 to 93, 89 to 94, 87, 86, 92. So all really between high 80s and is the low, and 100 is a high. So somewhere between 90 and 100 is your average, but it's across the board, all 6 cylinders. I guess I was looking at this too a little bit. I'm not, hopefully it's quite level, but I'm trying to show the same kind of light through here. Obviously the full regular bottle is a little bit darker as volume wise, but there is a little bit of color change. I'd be more comfortable with some real light or yellow to really be definitive on this test, to show the presence of any hydrocarbons in the actual coolant. But there is a little bit of color change. It is a little bit lighter. I'm trying to get a clear shot of each of these in comparison here. You can kind of see even there is some color change, but not a ton, but I guess take that for what it's worth. I'd be more looking for like yellow like that, but I don't expect it to be bright like a new highlighter, but I would expect it to be a little bit less blue. Obviously holding up to the blue car doesn't help either. But I see a little bit of color change, but not much. Okay, just to wrap up the Chrysler 300 2004 overheating issue. Probably should have just started with one of the first things that I knew I was going to do anyway. Should have probably just started there. Was a combustion test found between roughly 90 and 100 psi on all 6 cylinders, which is actually somewhat consistent with the too rich code that is out there. That's the only code in there, but it's on both banks, so at least that part is consistent with everything being messed up essentially. So likely 2 bad head gaskets, 2 bad heads, or both, warped heads, warped block. We're not really sure. There's no leak to speak of, possibly some burn off, some flow issues inside of there to be concerned with. I just told the owner the bad news that really she needs a new engine, and I feel bad about it, and it's unfortunate, but that's just what it is. We did plenty of playing around to figure out what else it could be. I know there's some similar issues like this, where, you know, is it just a hose blocked, or is it a flow issue, something like that? Is the thermostat in backwards? With all the tests that I did on and off camera, I'm pretty confident that we ruled out basically every other thing and confirmed bad issue here with the combustion tests. So unfortunately that's just where it's at. I wish I could show a fix. I was hoping to really do some diagnosis and an actual repair and show you the after and get it going, but I'm not sure that the owner's going to repair it, get a new engine, or I don't know what they're going to do. They're so upset right now, I don't think they know either. So hopefully they come get it and kind of just let them know. I'll show them the numbers and kind of give them my 2 cents from there, but yeah, unfortunate. So needs a new engine. I was hoping it could be something where we could fix it, but no, I think it's an engine issue. Take care.